Well, hello and welcome to the Mindset Mentor. I'm Tania Kolar, helping you cultivate a life you love by strengthening and conditioning your mindset. As you know, my big purpose and mission is to have guests on the show who really offer incredible knowledge, wisdom, and the inspiration for you to be your best self. We all deserve to live an absolutely extraordinary life, and I want you to stay tuned for this entire hour. You're going to learn so much. We're focusing on kindfulness for greater well being. And if we think about it, if we look at 2020, it's been, a challenging year for so many people from a mental, emotional, and in some cases, a physical aspect, a lot of suffering. And so we're going to learn some techniques on how to really become more mindful, how to create and foster greater well-being so that we can live a happier, more fulfilled life. So my guest on today's show, I am super excited. I can't wait to dive into the conversation. We have the venerable Bhante Saranapala joining us today. He is the founder of Canada, a mindful nation. And so, I mean, really incredible to know that he has this huge purpose and mission to make Canada, one of the kindest, healthiest, happiest, and most peaceful nations. So, I mean, that right there says it all. I mean, there's no limits as to what we can create in the world and what we want to achieve. It's the mindset that we have to cultivate to create that beautiful life that we love and to help inspire other people. So how about we just say hello and welcome to the venerable Bhante Saranapala. Such a pleasure to have you on the Mindset Mentor today.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Tania, for having me on your show. And by the way, you're looking very vibrant, but I definitely believe you have a very positive, great mindset. And I say mindset is everything.
Oh,
And
yes.
so I didn't know whether you had this mindset prior to me, but definitely it doesn't matter what time of the life you got this mindset, but your mindset, my mindset, I have a mindset of building a kindful, mindful nation. And that is why it's actually not just Canada mindfulness. I call it Canada, a mindful and kind nation. So this is based on a beautiful principle which we are going to talk about. So I'm very happy to be on your show today. And I think we have a moral and a spiritual obligation to share a great, positive, healthy, happy, peaceful, mindful, kindful mindset for the greater well-being, not just for Canada, for the whole world.
For the world. And I love that. We are all so connected. And I think that with this global pandemic, it has really given us that awareness that we are so connected. We are one. And therefore we understand now, the connection and, the effects of our actions and our thinking. And I think it's so important to really take a look and tap into our thoughts because many of us, especially when we're faced with challenges, have a tendency to get stuck in the negativity. So I want to, talk a little bit about, how can we change that negative thinking and the negative patterns that happen and that arise in daily situations? Because everything really is a choice. But how do we make that choice to say, all right, I now am going to maybe be okay with this situation. We need help. What do we do, Bhante?
I think now that's a great question, Tania. Now I'm going to be acting like a neuroscientist for this question, okay?
Yes, please.
And we all know that we have a brain, okay? And when we study neuroscience is a study of the brain, okay? So within this, excuse me, in this brain, there are two brains, okay? Did you know that before?
Well, I know that we have one brain, like the head, right? And then they say that there's another brain in the gut, but I'm not sure if that's what you mean or no, the mind has two brains. You tell us.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. People, I
Yeah.
think, they say, okay, left brain, right brain, or
Yes.
this brain, that brain. So that's fine. You know, what are
Okay.
the brains? I think people know that we have two brains. But modern neuroscientists call them now, it's a new names, a Velcro brain and the Teflon brain. Okay?
Interesting. Okay. All right. Some modern
So Velcro.
terminology.
Velcro. The word Velcro in chemistry, okay, it stands for sticking. Okay?
There you go. Yeah.
So, Teflon brain is a non-sticking brain. Okay? So, let's say Velcro. Your shoes may have Velcro, it sticks.
Yes.
And the coat, winter coats, you know, or jackets have the Velcro too. So it's a glue. Now, this Velcro brain is a primitive brain, undeveloped brain, bad brain. And the whole purpose of this Velcro brain is to make you a miserable person.
Oh, that's not a good goal.
Okay? No, that is the main goal of this brain, okay?
Wow. Okay. Got
And
it.
then it knows how to make you a miserable person. Okay? So Velcro brain wants you to do something negative, something bad, and then it wants you to get stuck with it all the time.
Yeah. Well, Velcro, it sticks easily, right? Yeah. It's tight.
So every time you get stuck with that, or you are sticking with that negativity, then you know that your mood changes, your feelings change, everything changes, right? Then you become miserable, unhappy, you live a painful life. So, and then it wants you to repeat all the negativity. Okay, that is the whole function of that brain. It wants you to repeat it or do it over and over again. It knows how to make you do all this work physically, verbally, mentally. And so it wants you to have engage in a negative behavior. It wants you to continue to develop more negative habits. Then it wants you to have a negative attitude. It wants you to have a negative mentality. And this Velcro brain wants you to repeat this for over and over again, all the negative, physically, verbally, mentally. And then people are stuck with this because they have built this Velcro brain layer after layer, layer after layer, layer after layer, because you're feeding it. The Velcro brain wants you to feed it with the negativity all the time.
And it gets more and more powerful, doesn't it? Okay.
Exactly. But the good news is, okay, we also have a good brain.
That is very good news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it's next to it. It's the next door. Well, a Teflon brain is our neighbor, but we are ignoring it. We are not paying attention to it. We are not feeding it. We are not nurturing it. We are not watering it. We are not doing anything to make it strong. So at the moment, the Teflon brain is weak. Why? We have stopped feeding it, so it has become weak. So if you want to transform your life from negativity to positivity, then in psychology, in Buddhist psychology, there's a form of technique we teach. It is called the shifting attention or shift your attention. Now, all these years, you have been paying attention to the Velcro brain. You have been taking side with the Velcro brain.
Yeah.
Whatever the Velcro brain says, you do it. You say yes, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's great. Yeah, I'm going to do it. So you're placing this Velcro brain all the time. So it has so it's like you're feeding it with all the negative nutriments.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so it has grown. Then you have to stop feeding it. So
Wow.
then
Okay.
you have to believe in the positivity. Okay, so then you had to tell yourself, yeah, there's a good friend of mine, actually next to me. That's the Teflon brain, Teflon mind. And then you say, okay, I'm going to side with the Teflon mind. And then you ignore the Velcro brain, then you pay attention to the uh, Teflon brain.
And start
Okay?
feeding the
Yeah,
Teflon and
yeah.
creating more of a stronger positive mindset in
Yeah.
that regard. Interesting. So when we talk about the Velcro brain, does the ego live in the Velcro brain? Because I
Oh,
think the
yeah.
ego dictates some of that negative behavior, or maybe all of it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. So the ego, big ego, is a function of this Velcro brain, Velcro mind. We also we call it Velcro. Neuroscientists would call it Velcro brain, and the psychologists, Buddhist psychologists, call it the Velcro mind. Okay,
Yes.
so Velcro mind and Teflon mind. So we are doing, so unless, for example, unkindness, okay, rudeness, unkindness, toughness, this is the function of, or the work of the Teflon, the Velcro brain. The
Okay.
kindness, gentleness, love, goodwill, all these are the work of the Teflon brain, good brain.
Well, it's interesting because now, like that, if we have the understanding that we do have those two brains, the Velcro, versus the Teflon, and the Teflon is all of that beautiful kindness and the compassion and the love and all
Yeah.
that. So, if we know that we have these two, the logical choice would be to feed the Teflon brain. So, why is it that we are so connected to the Velcro mind, the Velcro brain? And is it a possible shift for everyone to make from one brain to the other, or are we just stuck there sometimes? Like
No, it's
what do you think?
actually, we are not stuck there. People tend to think we are stuck there. No. People think that's the end of your life. No. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
But you need to have the faith in yourself. At the end of every dark tunnel, you will see the light.
Yes. Oh,
But the thing
beautifully
is,
said.
so the thing is, you need to have the faith in this light.
Yeah, yeah.
You need
And
to
that can
believe
be
in yourself.
challenging, right? That can be
Yeah.
challenging because, it doesn't feel good when you're in the middle of a Velcro moment, let's say, and life is full of pain or suffering, so that we believe, anyways. It's hard sometimes to imagine and to find that faith when you're in the depths of despair.
Yeah. That's why you need to have faith in yourself. There is a particular word we use in Buddhist philosophy. It is called the saddha or shraddha. Saddha or shraddha means faith, belief. Okay? So, to get out of this negativity, to get rid of this Velcro brain, first you need to have faith, the belief in the good people.
Yes. Okay.
And you also need to, first you need to believe the fact that, oh, this is an enlightened person, this is a knowledgeable person. And when you listen to that knowledgeable, wise individual or enlightened being, and then when you hang around with that person, you feel good. Oh my goodness, look at this person. Actually, his presence is giving me hope, is shedding light and bringing light into my life. Now I see. Then you get this kind of moment, what we call the aha moment. Aha. Like a eureka moment. Aha. I get it.
Finally
My
get it.
goodness, where have you been all these years? I've been looking for you.
Yeah.
Right? Now,
Yeah.
why didn't get an opportunity, a chance to come to your presence? Right? But again, stop blaming yourself. Now at least you have seen the light.
Yes.
This is also what we call hang around with such a person is like, I'm pretty sure you have studied Western philosophy, Greek philosophy, right?
Yes.
In the Greek philosophy, in the Western philosophy, there was a great mind, great person, philosopher, Plato. And Plato has talked about a caveman, okay? And the caveman story. So this caveman has been living in the cave for his whole life. And after years, this caveman saw a tiny glimpse of light, but he was not familiar with that. He got used to this complete darkness, and then he was curious, what is that? And then he became a kind of interested in that glimpse of light, and then he started following it. And the more he followed that glimpse of light, the brighter it became. So his curiosity became double and triple. And then he went after that glimpse of light, and it started becoming brighter and brighter and brighter. And eventually, that glimpse of light led him to get out of the cave, where he saw the complete light, the sun, and he was able to see now everything. There's a beautiful mountain, beautiful people, and everything.
Wow.
And then when he saw that complete brightness, the light, he did not go back to the cave.
Yeah. Well, isn't that interesting, right? Because those dark shadows, I think, are where many of us live. We live in
Yeah.
that cave, so to speak,
Yeah.
and not having the faith that that light is there. So I think that's really important, is to have the willingness to know
Yeah.
that is there for you, even though we can't see it, we can't
Yeah.
feel it. It is there, and it's
Yeah.
always there for us. We're always evolving, and I think we need to
Yeah.
look at all of our circumstances and what we can learn from it, and then just continue to move forward, because
Yeah.
forward is always a good thing, right? That's progression. We can't progress unless we move forward.
Yeah.
And our mindset is so key to
Yeah.
creating the life that we love. And if there's something right now in life that is not working, that doesn't feel good, I think it's important to look at that as an opportunity. So the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity now to become the next evolution of yourself, and whatever
Yeah.
that may look like.
Yeah.
We need to take a break. So we're going to take a short break, and we're going to continue this amazing conversation. I love it so much. This is awesome. So stay tuned, everyone. We'll be back here on Sauga 960 AM after this. You're listening to The Mindset Mentor. And hello, and welcome back to the Mindset Mentor. Today, we are focusing on kindfulness for greater well being. Well being is so important. I mean, it really dictates the quality of our lives, and, also the quality of lives for anybody around you. Our energy is always transferable, it's picked up, it's emitted. So, really important to, do what we can, not only for ourselves, but for other people. We want to have a wonderful, healthy, kindful nation and planet. planet. And today, my guest is certainly helping us to do that. I'm so honored to have the venerable Bhante Saranapala joining us today. Just an incredible, wealth of knowledge. He's also known as the urban Buddhist monk. He has, incredible practices to help people learn how to cultivate their mind. And really your mind or your mindset, is equated to everything in your life. So there are certainly ways that we can take control of our thoughts and our patterns, our habits and our beliefs to create that greater well-being. Before we took a break, we were talking and touching a little bit on the neuroscience behind our thinking and our patterns. We talked about the Velcro brain and the Teflon brain. So if we can, Bhante, can we dive a little bit deeper into, what's going on in the mind and how is science now catching up to meditation practices that have been, and mindfulness practices that have been practiced, for the beginning of time, essentially.
Well, that is another great question. Thank you for asking that question from me. I think this is this will be of great interest to your audience and to everyone, actually. We know about the science, right? We all believe in science, and the whole purpose of the science is to reveal things, to to shed light. To explain what is known to be unknown. Okay?
Yeah.
So the scientists would like to study. They would like to gather the information. They would like to do the research, examination or experimentation. And after the experimentation, it is then they come to conclusion like, aha, now we know why it's happening. It is exactly like how Isaac Newton discovered the law of gravity, right? When he was in the apple garden, then he saw an apple fell down, and he said, "Oh, how does it happen? Why did apple fall in the ground?" Then he started reflecting, thinking deeply. Okay, now I know. There is a gravity.
It's almost like those aha moments are these like little micro enlightenment, places that we find, right? Yeah.
Right. So science is doing a great job. Okay. So neuroscientists, psychologists, they were kind of first a bit doubtful of spiritual practice. I don't want to call it it's a religious practice, religion is religion, spirituality is spirituality. Okay, so people have freedom to, become religious, spiritual.
Yes.
So there is a great institute called the Life and Science Institute. So the prominent scientists in the world have organized an annual conference, and the key keynote speaker is the His Holiness Dalai Lama.
Oh, wonderful!
And then and of course, Dalai Lama is Dalai Lama. He's considered a religious leader, a spiritual leader, political leader, whatever you name it. And then scientist is scientist. The whole practice of scientists is to doubt everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So now here's the spiritual leader who is coming to tell us to do this, to do that. Well, really? How does it work with science, So His Holiness Dalai Lama once told the audience of all these prominent scientists in the world, well, you guys are experimenting on the negativity of the brain. Like when you get angry, when you get upset, when you are this and that, when you're hitting what kind of changes taking place in your brain. This is the research you're doing. So how about, I would like to propose to you, how about you do research into when people do the good thinking, when people become kind, compassionate, and this and that, and then why don't you do some research into that? And then all the scientists kind of ignored him. That's a religious thing, right? So it's a religious thing. It's a spiritual thing. It won't go with the modern science. But one from American neuroscientist, his name is Richard Davidson. He's a big name. Richard Davidson thought a person like Dalai Lama says to an audience of prominent scientists to do research into the positivity of the brain, there must be some truth in it. So Richard Davidson said, okay, I'm going to try. So there was a Dalai Lama's personal translator. His name is Matthew Ricard. He's French. He himself was a scientist, a biologist, and later on, and he is also a photographer, he says, and then later on he became a disciple of His Holiness Dalai Lama. He became an ordained disciple of Dalai Lama.
Wow.
So then
quite a switch.
Yeah. So then he goes with Dalai Lama for the translation. And so he also practices meditation. So Richard Davidson asked Matthew Ricard to come to his lab at the University of Wisconsin at Madison. And he said, I have a lab. Would you like to come to my lab? We would like to scan your brain to see when you meditate, what happens, right? And then Matthew Ricard said yes to it. And so he went to University of Wisconsin, and so they made all the preparations for this research with all the technology, all the machines, instruments. And so Richard Davidson told Matthew Ricard, I just want you to do your own work. If you're meditating, just do the meditation. What kind of meditation technique you do, it doesn't really matter to me. But whatever meditation you do, you just do that for me. Okay. You don't worry about me. You don't worry about what's happening here, right? You just do your own work, your job. We will do our own job. So he sat down. So they put about 256 sensors on his brain.
Wow.
256 sensors.
Fully hooked up, yes.
Okay, fully hooked up. And then he said, don't worry, you just do your own practice.
I think it takes a serious meditator to be able to, meditate calmly in that environment as well. Interesting.
So then, he sat down, right? So Richard Davidson was there with other assistant researchers. So Matthew Ricard sat down and he started practicing meditation. He was doing, there are many meditation techniques. First, he did the mindful breathing, and then he did the loving kindness meditation and joy meditation, or compassion meditation, okay? So now, Richard Davidson is monitoring all the activity of the brain. Like when he started practicing meditation, what kind of brain plasticity he maintained at that moment. And when he kept practicing meditation, all the changes that were taking place, he was monitoring everything. And to their surprise, when Matthew Ricard continued practicing meditation on joy and compassion and loving kindness, my goodness, his brain plasticity, the gray matters, it started, developing, growing, becoming thicker and thicker. Wow. And so this is something that Richard Davidson has never seen. He said, I have been doing this research for years, but I haven't seen something miraculous like this.
Wow.
And then their interest started growing more now. And so he kept, Matthew Ricard kept practicing meditation for, I don't know how many hours, but, and then Richard Davidson, after that research, published an article about this research. And after reading this article published in a journal, maybe psychology journal or neuroscience journal, the Time magazine picked that up. And the Time magazine put this monk's picture with 250 sensors on his head, with a heading saying, the happiest man alive.
Wow, that's
The
intense.
happiest man.
Yeah.
So even today, if you Google the happiest man alive, it will pop up with the Time magazine picture.
The picture
the-
proven by
yeah,
science.
the front
Interesting.
page.
Wow.
Front page, the cover page picture. So what it means is that, and we also knew this because I have been, but I did not have that knowledge before. And after reading this work, the Time magazine article, then I developed a great interest in neuroscience. So I basically started reading about neuroscience, all the different articles, research done by different neuroscientists. And it was fascinating. Even today, whatever article, book I find about neuroscience, I start reading it because it's so fascinating. And then I was thinking, my goodness, this is what happens. This is what I have been doing actually for years. I started conducting a weekly meditation from 1995, and it's still going on.
Fantastic.
And then I see those who come to meditation class, after meditation, they leave the meditation hall with a peace of mind, with so much relief. And then I see it's increasing, week by week, more people. So if you come to one of my weekly meditation here, you will see my meditation hall is crowded. Okay.
Oh, I would love to come. Yes, indeed.
And I see new faces every week. So I was thinking like, oh, what is good? Oh, who are these people? And then when people come, actually, I don't go after people and talk to them. I don't ask their whereabouts unless they come and talk to me. So when they come to talk to me, they say, oh, Bhante, I got to know about you through one of my friends whose life changed through meditation, through your teachings. So they highly recommended me to come here. And so I feel so great.
Yeah.
I feel so happy. So it is like even today, let's say, was a guy who was going through some rough time for months. And through one friend who comes to meditation class, actually few people, they told him to come here, but his ego prevented him from coming. But then he contacted me in the Instagram. And then today he called me, this morning. After having this 1 hour conversation, he felt so much relief. So what is happening here is that all the meditation practices, all the spiritual values, if you choose to cultivate them, if you choose to meditate, if you choose to become a kind person, it's going to change your whole life.
That's incredible. Yeah, and what I find fascinating is that, not only will you feel the change within yourself, other people around you will see that change, and you don't need a scientist to determine the change. But it is absolutely fascinating to see that science has been able to pick up so many benefits, and even in diseases, in physical ailments that people can get some relief or healing and cure some of these issues. So we are going to take a break, and then we'll be back and continue continue this incredible conversation. We're also going to dive into what kindfulness means and how you can cultivate a life that's going to help you feel happier, kinder, and you know, really foster greater well-being. Stay with us. We'll be back here on Sauga 960 AM. Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Mindset Mentor. I'm Tania Kolar. Joining me today is the venerable Bhante Saranapala. So excited to have Bhante joining us today. It is such a pleasure, a true honor to have you here, Bhante. You are doing such incredible work, not only in Canada, but around the world. I know that you have also been featured in the documentary, The Mind Explained, and we just got a great explanation, you know, on the science behind meditation. And I want to delve a little bit deeper into kindfulness, because part of your big mission is to create that kindful nation and world and our planet, essentially, and to foster peace and greater well-being for all. So what exactly is the definition of kindfulness?
Okay, so the kindfulness word, you can't find this word in English dictionary.
Yeah.
But it's being added into the dictionary now. I think when we use the word kindfulness, uh, people get an idea about kindfulness, but it's not exactly the same thing. But they get only part of it, okay? So this is a word coined by a funny British Buddhist monk who lives in Australia. And he used this word, kindfulness. It's come from two words, kindness and mindfulness.
Interesting. Okay, I love that. So good. So
Kindness and mindfulness is called kindfulness. But I have introduced a principle behind this kindfulness practice. Okay? So, and what is that? The word mindfulness also has the meaning to remember. Okay? To remember. So, being mindful means to remember.
okay. Yep.
And so always be mindful to be kind to yourself. Always be mindful to be kind to others.
Yes.
That is the principle. So in other words, always remember to be kind to yourself. Always remember to be kind to others.
Beautiful.
So this is the principle I have introduced by using this kindfulness word. So my whole mission, let's say, I started this with Canada. Well, I have a reason behind this, because I love Canada. Canada, it means a lot to me. As a Canadian Buddhist monk, I'm so fortunate, so privileged to have a wonderful life here.
Awesome. And by the way, I mean, Canadians are considered around the world to be very kind and friendly people.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, we have a good reputation.
That's for sure. And what it means is that when I call Canada Mindful and Kind Nation, that means, it also means, hey, Canadians, always never forget that Canadians are kind and reasonable and friendly people.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
It's also practice like this.
Yeah, and some may argue that that's not true because they've met some Canadians that are not kind, but we certainly all have the potential to be kind.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So even I brought this concept, this phrase, kindfulness practice, to the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau just 2 weeks ago. I talked to him about this. And he also acknowledged Canadians are kind, friendly, reasonable, something like that. But he also acknowledged that there are unfriendly, unkind, unreasonable Canadians.
Yes,
right?
angry.
Angry. So that is the very reason why we are seeing the violence, the crime rate is increasing. especially here in the big cities like Toronto. Like if you turn on the TV, CP24 news, what do you hear in the morning?
Oh,
Someone
negative news.
all the
Yes, terrible.
negativity. So this is also a reminder. Hey, my fellow Canadians, never forget that we are kind people, right? We are friendly people. Why are you doing this negativity, right?
Well, I love that reminder because some people are so locked into that they're not a good person, and it's a limiting belief that they have. You know,
Yeah,
nobody's born to be an awful person and
yeah,
an evil person. Like these are
yeah,
trained patterns that we develop
yeah.
over time, and therefore now we can actually start undoing some of that so that we can be that kind and compassionate soul that we're meant to be.
Yeah, we need to create this environment. You know, we need to maintain it. We need to sustain. If you really believe in the sustainable peace and happiness and harmony, and we, as Canadians, when we talk about a country, a nation, now what is the nation? Who is the nation? Who is the country? People living in that country. So now my mission is when I call Canada a mindful and kind nation, first of all, this is to maintain the good standard, like name of Canada. Canadians are kind and friendly and reasonable people. And at the same time, I want other nations to follow the footstep of Canada. In a Canada, see, Canada mindful and kind nation.
Yeah.
So I came into this for years I have been talking about it. Okay, whenever I do public speaking, like I'm saying this not just because it popped up in my mind. I'm also like a scientist. I have been doing some research into this. I have been experimenting this principle, this concept, throwing the idea into the audience whenever I do the public speaking. And the positive response I receive from the people is, wow, this is such a great idea. This is such a great principle. We all can be kind. We all can be mindful. And then some years ago, after conducting mindfulness sessions for a group of accountants at an accounting firm in Pickering, Ontario, and so my friend, actually I don't drive, my Canadian friend Michael, who drives me around, and he knows that when I go out, I love to try double, you know.
Oh.
And then,
True Canadian, yeah.
so after the session, as we left the building, my friend said, Bhante, how about because he saw Tim Horton nearby, he said, Bhante, how about we pay a friendly visit to Sir Timothy Horton? And I said, oh my God, that would be an ideal thing to do. So let's go for that friendly visit. And then we went there. So we were enjoying double. So now my friend said, Bhante, you know, I always go with you. And everywhere you talk about this kindness, mindfulness, compassion, happiness, love, these are great things that you're talking about. Then I told him, Mikey, how about from today, I officially call Canada a mindful and kind nation. And he said, wow, that is a great idea. And guess what? Then I have another student, and her name is Jenny Kim. And I said, Jenny, can you please register this name, Canada, a mindful and kind nation, as a nonprofit organization? Beautiful. And so we registered that now as a nonprofit organization. So now to promote the concept, of course, every day, you know, whoever I meet, I talk about that. In my weekly, monthly presentations, I talk about this principle. And then to make a great awareness of this, I organize an annual conference, and I call it Kindful Canada Symposium.
Oh,
And so
beautiful.
I bring all the experts, from different fields,
Mm-hmm.
and we spend the whole day talking about it, discussing, doing the meditation, group qigong practice, group tai chi practice. So, and whoever comes to this the conference, from different cities, they go home with a kindful heart.
Yes.
You know?
And then, when you come home with that kindful heart full of compassion and love for other people, that's what you're putting back out into the world. So it
Yeah,
all does begin with ourselves, and it's really
yeah,
important to maintain that. And
yeah.
unfortunately, we are out of time. I wish that we had more time to spend together. I love this conversation so much, and I truly am so honored to have you here. I want to acknowledge you for the incredible work that you have been doing and that you continue to do. And for the listeners out there, if you'd like to have a look at the Canada Mindful Nation, visit the website at canadamindfulnation.ca. And again, acknowledge you for your work. And also, I know that you've had recognition from the Prime Minister, a letter of recognition for, again, the work that you do. Part of your journey has also been on the UN, a civil ambassador, I believe, for one of the projects. So continue to do the outstanding work that you're doing. And thank you for sharing your compassionate, loving heart and soul with us all here and helping to foster greater well-being for the planet.
Well, thank you, Tania, for this is such an incredible thing that you're doing. I know you're not just Tania Kolar. You have become a kindful mindset coach.
Mm-hmm. That's my mission. Yes, indeed. Spreading
So,
that kindness out there. Yes, I'm
so
kindful.
thank you so much, and
Mm.
I wish you all the best, and I wish you good health, long life, a life filled with joy, happiness, peace, love, light, wisdom, everything. So
Oh,
just keep up your good work and keep
beautiful.
smiling. Don't worry about anything. Just keep singing the kindergarten song. Row, row, row
Row
the
your
boat
boat
gently
gently.
down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you so much. Blessings back to you. I feel so honored right now. So again, thank you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Such a pleasure having you here. All right,
Yeah.
everyone. So that is your goal today, is to be kindful. Send that love and compassion, not only to everyone else, but bring that back to yourself as well. So let's live our best lives, because we absolutely deserve to live an extraordinary life. And have yourself a phenomenal day, and tune in next Saturday at 11 a.m. for more of the Mindset Mentor here on Sauga 960 a.m.